you see the Titans drafting a quarterback at number 1?
That doesn't sound like a man who's going to draft a quarterback, reading between the lines. And I think that would be a good decision because first of all, there is no Joe Burrow in this draft. I think if you draft a quarterback, you'd be setting him up to fail or at least struggle, perhaps with the state of the roster.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Titans at 1, I either go best player available, maybe Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter on defense, or I consider trading down because there's a lot of needs on both sides of the football on that team. It's a big part of why their record is what it was this year, enabling them to get the number 1 overall pick.
The Browns hold the 2nd overall pick, and GM Andrew Berry has heard some of the rumblings we've probably all heard about Shedeur Sanders and Dion maybe wanting to control where Shedeur is drafted. But Berry said this when asked if Dion or Shedeur would have a problem being drafted by Cleveland. Quote, "I don't anticipate that being a problem. Shedeur is a really impressive young man. He's poised, he's calm, he's smart, and you can tell that he's been raised by, quite honestly, a Hall of Fame dad. We're going to get to know him even more over the course of the spring, but he's really impressive." So, Dan, what is the best move for the Browns to get a quarterback? Is it in the draft or free agency?
I would say both. Best and most realistic probably don't marry each other here. The Browns are in the 2nd worst cap space in the NFL. They are $63 million over the cap. So most likely the realistic option is, can you get Daniel Jones for cheap after his time in Minnesota, and then maybe drafting a player early in the 2nd round like Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss? You're going to have to add at least 2 potential starting quarterbacks to your football team to compete, and it's not going to be somebody that's going to command a lot of money because they don't have it.
I think Jackson Dart will continue to rise up people's boards. We'll get into that a lot on NFL Live. By the way, to the 3rd pick, it's held by the Giants. Here's what GM Joe Schoen said about their plans. Schoen telling the team website this: "We're going to be open to anything. We're in a good position sitting at 3 with the players that are available. By process of elimination, we know we're going to get a good player." So he really didn't say much there.
Yeah.
RC, what do you think of his comment?
Well, I think the first decision he should make is when off-season Hard Knocks comes to him and say, "You want to do it again?" Say no. And then after that, you need to figure out what you're going to do, because you draft Malik Neighbors last year, which was an excellent pick. He's a future star at the position, but would Michael Penix Jr. would have been better there? How about Bo Nix? And so you can't let passing up on quarterbacks last year force you into overdrafting one in this year's draft. So you need to be very meticulous about your evaluation of these quarterbacks and understand where your roster is and where it needs to be improved.
You think that with the 1st overall pick, the Titans should take a quarterback?
No, and I don't think they will. Brian Callahan I've known for a long time now. In the last 10 years of his NFL career, he was in Denver with Peyton Manning, he was in Detroit with Matthew Stafford, and he was in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. He knows what it looks like.
Yeah.
He knows what it sounds like. He knows what it feels like. One of those guys at the top of this draft, either Shedeur or Cam Ward, as of right now, he's not those guys. They are not those guys. So I think Callahan's going to understand the mistake that you can make in the NFL that we see consistently, and my question is going to be, when was the last time a team who needed to draft a quarterback took the risk of drafting a quarterback early on that wasn't a well-known, proven one that you felt good about, and it worked out?
Well, obviously, an obvious choice is number 6, taking Daniel Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. The Giants need to take one. You draft him, you're like, wait, everyone's like, wait, what? That's the pick?
Yeah.
I think that's what feels like the situation would happen if Tennessee, if they took one.
This feels like a potential Aaron Rodgers destination.
Wow.
The Tennessee Titans, because I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback.